Little Brown Jug back at Oak Hill Field with Brighton High School, first time since 2017. Salata, a couple of touchdown passes, but the big story, you're up 20 points, and Coach Mooney found a way to chip away, but it wasn't enough. How good does this win feel?
I mean, it feels great to bring it back to New Brighton. The rivalry between us and Beaver Falls is a long tradition standing, so it's really nice to get it back home.
You realize what you've done this year. Everywhere I go in the Valley and interview various coaches, Mark Lyons earlier today, Tommy Content, who graduated from here, the Lions are making some noise again, and people are really embracing it. And I know Beaver Falls has fallen on some tough times. They got a nice coach, good guy. They'll get it going. But anytime you can do this with the Little Brown Jug, that's big.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a great feeling for the kids to have, for the community to have.
So I'm reading in the Times today, and I told Mark Lyons about this. I go back to the Gardner Point days, and even New Brighton teams suffered because of that back in the day. But they're going to do some wild card stuff this year, and some more teams are going to have a chance to get into the postseason. No matter what anyone thinks, and I'll say it again, win, lose, or draw, if you can get to the show, anything can happen.
Absolutely. There's teams that have made it at a 13 seed, went all the way, to semifinals, World Tour Championships. So I mean, anything can happen once the playoffs start.
Pleasantly surprised, but I think you realize this could happen. But looking back, some things you'd like to rewind again that maybe could make it just a little bit more sweeter. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a couple things that that are going to haunt us through this season. Our Riverside game, making the mistakes there. They're a good football team, but I think we made a lot of mistakes that we'd like to revisit that one. But just the mental game this year that we've dropped the ball a couple times on things that I think we could have been in a different position. We're just keeping our head forward, and we're going to go after these next 2 weeks.
Because of Miss Keaton, I've been able to stay in touch with everything that is New Brighton. So thank you for all the wonderful social media posts and New Brighton cheer, the band, the school district. So I come here prepared because of the helping hand that you all give me. So I understand it's a big day for seniors, right?
Yeah. Our senior night's on Friday night against Western Beaver. The guys are excited, so we're excited to get out there for them.
We're going to talk about Western Beaver and Coach Busby in just a moment, and that young man Peel, who I understand has relatives from New Brighton, so it's one big connection here in the Valley. But I just want to talk about this football team, and you're going to get to the end. You got a couple more games. You got Western Beaver and then Union to wrap up the season. But then you know as well as I do, postseason or not, it'll be great, but you cannot take your eye off the prize. This is all about not just this year, but in the next multiple years. You've got to get more people buying in. But what a great way to start that program, that thought process of winning and getting tradition going in the right direction. This will be a great launching pad.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we still have our eyes on a goal that we set at the beginning of the season. So we're going to go after these next 2 weeks really hard and hope for the best.
So how do you block out all the noise, being from this town? And look, there are a lot of diehard football fans in this town, and they haven't won in a long time, so they're always chirping. They always have something to say. They're going to applaud you when you win. They're going to let you know when you lose. But especially if you're from this town, you got family, you got children, you got a wife, your mom and dad. How do you block out all that noise?
I stay here.
I
I go from here to home.
One thing that I think you have done, you have instilled the belief that this program is on the rise again. Now look, 1 year doesn't make a career. Obviously you have some games you should have won and you didn't. There are some things that you want to do better. But it's nice to walk off this field on the winning side of things. You realize how long, it's no fault of anyone's, but how long it's been since I'm at home Friday night, getting ready to get up before the crack of dawn and following the Beaver County Times live scores and what have you, just to see New Brighton relevant again. What are some of the reasons, Coach Macuga, other than obviously on the field, that you believe this program is relevant?
Like I've said the last couple of weeks, our guys, they've completely bought into what we want them to do. They work hard. They do everything we ask them to do. And, some days we're on the upper side of it. Some days we're on, obviously on the underside of it. But they keep working hard every single day.
Back to the Jug game. So how did Beaver Falls get back into this game? After you have a 20-point lead at half?
Yeah, they're a tough team. I know they're young, but they have some good athletes still. We made a couple mental mistakes. We fumbled a couple times, and they were able to capitalize on it.
So let's talk about Western Beaver. This sophomore, over 3,000 yards as a freshman last year. He stepped out, went to Central Catholic for a while, but he has come back, and he's come back with a vengeance. Man, when you look at prototype passing the football, pretty special stuff. So it goes through him. We're going to have to do everything you can to neutralize this guy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna do what we do on defense. The best we do is we bring pressure. So we're gonna try to get some pressure on them, try to make mistakes. Our guys just have to be able to cover behind them, but they also have two nice running backs too. So they're a solid football team.
Yeah, here's the thing that people don't realize. You can't do only one thing to be successful. You have to be able to multitask, and you have to bring more than just one aspect of your game. And I think one of the reasons, even though Peel's getting a lot of credit, they can run the ball with equal authority. And what that does for them, that gives them an alternative. If you get to the pass and shut that down, they can start chipping away at you with the run, and then you get rolled into that false sense of security, and the next thing you know, bang, they hit you with a pass. So this is a multifaceted offense.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not great with names, but number 5 and number 8 in the backfield, they do some good things whenever they hit the ball, and then they have two pretty good receivers on the outside that that we have to be able to cover behind or line.
You realize you're an old school coach that you just did. I've been at this game a long time, in many film sessions, many sidelines, many coaches shows. And the true old school coaches, just so their players buy in, and when they're doing film study, number 5, number 8, number 12, you keep your eyes on number 27. So it does come down to numbers, but one thing is for sure, numbers don't lie. Western Beaver is the cream of the crop. They're one of the best in that class.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so a couple of games left. This is that time of year when your mind starts to wonder a little bit. Athletes are thinking about those winter sports, but there's still a lot of football left. I mean, 2 games people think, but this could literally make or break. So these next 2 games, but especially Western Beaver, just days away. You have to find a way.
Yeah, that's what we talked about this week is, we have 2 weeks left, and with the committee picking the playoff teams, the last 4 teams this year, we feel like we've played a lot of really good teams this year. So we want to finish the season strong and give us a shot to get to the ship.
Before we go, I've been talking to a lot of coaches about their heroes growing up, the ones that they wanted to just watch walk off the field. Obviously, your favorite coach has to be your dad, I get that. But talk about growing up in New Brighton, some of the players that you just could not wait to come to Oak Hill and watch on Friday.
My sister, she was in school in the 90s, so, I got to see Chris Hall was always my favorite player because
he could scoot.
He could scoot. He was a smaller guy, so I really enjoyed watching him, Mike Holleran.
Yeah, man.
And then as I got older, the Weston Lamberts, the Tommy Contentas, Pat Glitch was another guy that was a smaller guy that I actually got to go to school with. So there was a lot of smaller scat back type guys that I enjoyed watching.
Funny, Mike Holleran's name's come up twice today.
Yeah.
He was some kind of player, was he not?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Weston Lambert, some kind of player. And Tommy Contenta, would you not like to have him in this lineup? He was a great quarterback.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, I can't thank you enough. I know you got a little bit of a practice and you're going to do the radio thing. They do such a great job, WBVP and Mr. Mangino and company. I'm a big fan, always tuned in. It's all about the Valley, it's Beaver County, but Odyssey, KDKA, I'm a huge fan of what they're doing. And let me just fill you in because of people like Coons Quality Foods, M7, Jim Christiana coming up with me tonight after local news at 8. He happens to be a professional NFL agent now. We're going to have a chance to talk to him a little football and some politics. Also, I want to thank the folks at the Allegheny Health Network, my dear friend, Dr. Patrick DeMeo, head of the Orthopedics Institute, team physician of the Pirates, along with Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, that healthcare company, and so many others help us do what we do. And of course, the signature sponsor to start the engine of that new car. They've got that beautiful Hyundai dealership here in Chippewa, Beaver County, the power of Bowser. And what a matchup we have this week, Friday Night Lights. It will be Pine Richland, John Ladon, Aliquippa Native against Art Walker Jr. and NA. I know Rhino Production still does a lot of the game film for NA. So, hey man, it's all about football. It's about family. It's about the community. And don't forget, Coons Quality Food Sports Report Saturday and Sunday morning, beginning each day at 5:15 a.m. and every half hour until 7:45 a.m. And we break it all down, everything in the world of sports, on the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday show. And by the way, 2-day sale underway. Get to Coons Market like the one here in Hopewell. How do you find the one nearest you? Click on coonsmarket.com. And there's always more sports at 93.7 The Fan. It's your Pratt Pack. Have a great night.